Thanks for joining me for this video on how to read your lie in the fairway. What am I talking about there? I'm just talking about the slopes that you encounter on a golf course. For some reason, golf courses aren't quite as flat as your typical driving range. So you need to know how to deal with uphills, downhills, and side hill lies. And we're going to walk through that together and see what we can't find out. If you're new to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And I love it when you fill up the comments section below too. It gives me a sense of what you thought of the video, but also it gives me some ideas for other content that you might find interesting. Stay with me till the end of this video where I'm going to share a wee little bonus. I'm going to let you know what good players are thinking as they slide into their pre-shot routine. Now, let's get you the straight goods on how to read your lie in the fairway. Here we are at the fantastic second hole at Cordova Bay Golf Course, and we're going to look at this aspect of the game that's often misunderstood and sometimes glossed over entirely. It's how to read your lie in the fairway, and we're talking about what happens when I'm into these uphill lies, downhill lies, that sort of thing. What kind of calculations do I have to make to ensure that if I execute my shot, I get a prize in that my ball ends up pretty close to the flagstick? The situation is I've got 131 yards to the center of the green from where my ball lies and fully 145 yards to the flagstick because the flagstick's at the back of the green. So in this case, I've also got a little bit of an uphill lie. And often on a hole like this, people don't even recognize how much uphill we're dealing with. But definitely I've got some slope here. I'm not on flat ground. I've got a bit of an uphill lie. And there'll be 4 questions to ask your golf ball as to how it's going to behave as opposed to if you had a dead flat lie. So given an uphill lie here, is the ball likely to fly higher or lower? And the answer clearly is higher because of this upshooter lie. Second, is the ball likely to travel further or shorter? And it'll go shorter because it's going to launch a little bit higher, no question. Third question is, do I have much left or right influence in this lie? And the answer here is no, neither, because you don't have a significant uphill and you certainly don't have the ball way above my feet or way below, so you don't have a lot of side hill to deal with. And then our last question for the golf ball is, upon landing, are you likely to roll out a lot or a little? And because of the higher trajectory and the sharper descend back to earth, this ball shouldn't roll out a whole heck of a lot upon landing. So I've got my raw yardage of 131 yards to the center, 145 to the flagstick. I'd really like to get this back onto the top shelf. That would be a bonus if I could. So my actual strategy here is to have a shot that ends up in the 142 yard range. I don't want to risk going over the green, and if I hit it 150 or 155, it's over with a difficult downhill chip afterward. So I want to hit this in that 140 to 145 range. I'm going to look at the loft effectively being a little higher at impact because of this uphill lie. So this is going to play more like a 150 yard shot, even though my yardage that I want this to end up is at actually 142. That higher launch and shorter distance carried and less rollout is going to play like more like a 150. So I'm going to choose my 150 club, which for me is an 8 iron in these temperature conditions. Whoa, that's a lot of math there, especially for a regular Joe like me. So here we are, we're going to hit this shot. We're really looking to cover 142 yards, but I've got my 150 club here at the second fairway, so for me, that's an 8 iron. Well, who knew there'd be so much math involved just to hit a golf shot? But because golf shots are not hit off of flat lies like at the driving range, we'll have to account for slopes, we'll have to account for wind, other environmental conditions, how firm is the green, that sort of stuff. The idea being, if you do your due diligence, then anytime you make a great swing, you actually have a good chance of getting a reward. And my belief as a coach is if you do make a good balanced swing, solid contact, you should get a reward. So it's mostly about, well, how do I take this good swing to the course and implement it When we're on the course, we want to be thinking about playing golf and not thinking about our technique and how to fix things while we're playing. Early in this video, I told you that I would share a little bit about what good players are thinking as they slide into their pre-shot routine. And it might be quickest and easiest if I first tell you what they're not thinking. They're not thinking about their technique as they slide into their pre-shot routine. So that pre-shot routine is a time to find a quiet space for your mind and fill your mind with thoughts of targeting and ball flight. You need to be able to get to some level of trust, and that's the point of having the routine. But what you want to do is marry your mental side to your routine so as to not be in distraction mode while you're trying to hit your shot. So all you do is connect with the target visually, slide into your pre-shot routine, keeping your optic eye on the ball as you swing, but your mind's eye on the target. Thanks for joining me for today's video. If you enjoyed the video itself, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I got lots more great stuff coming. Hit the like button and hit the notifications bell too so you don't miss out on any future content on Straight Goods on Golf.